looking straight at this thing is a bit full on. It hurts your eyes. G'day everyone, today we are looking at 40 volt Makita XGT Worklights. On the right here we have the ML005G and on the left the ML009G. Great thing about these is I don't have to tell you the American numbers, the numbers are the same all over the world. But it's not just two lights that I have to show you today, it's actually three, and the third one is lighting this shot. This is the ML007G, but it's a little hard to see, so I think we'll revert to usual studio lighting. Now I've already done one review on a Makita area work light. That was the ML003G. Not a fantastic light, to be honest, let's face it. Only goes up to 1100 lumens. In my opinion, you'd be better off getting this, the ML007G, as it's actually 150 lumens higher. This can put out 1250 lumens, the ML003G only puts out 1100. This thing came in handy a few days ago when our property started flooding, so I was running around outside and can attest to the fact that this thing is pretty waterproof despite it being covered in a lot of vents. It got rather wet and it seems to have survived just fine. This can be used as a torch, a spotlight, an area light. You can stand it there like that for an area light and then point it wherever you want, up. Got that 90-degree range of motion there. It has this metal hanging hook that folds in under the bottom there. It has another couple of hooks here that you can stick a strap on with a hook, so there's lots of options for hanging or displaying this light wherever you wish to do it. Now this tool has 4 modes. The first mode is the spotlight mode. Now in this mode, Makita say it can go up to 640 meters. That's a long way. I'm going to, well, I'm not going to be able to test it exactly distance-wise probably, but we'll take it out somewhere in the dark and give it a bit of a test. I have used it a lot, and it's pretty impressive. I can certainly fire it a long way down the road while I'm sitting out in the hot tub. To change the 4 modes, you've got a mode button down the bottom here. So we've got it on spotlight at the moment. If we push it again, it'll go to floodlight mode. There you go. Push it again, it'll be floodlight and spot mode. So that is now wigging out my camera, I can see. Wee, wavy lines. That's your 1250 lumen mode. Push it again and you're back to spot. 1, 2, 3. What happened to number 4? You hold your finger on the mode button for 3 seconds. You get super annoying strobe mode. Did this in the bedroom the other night and it was like doing my head in. Anyway, yeah, let's turn that off. That's darn annoying. So she's a nice, good all-round light, this one, and it's something you could write off as a work expense and then use it to go hunting or something, camping and that sort of stuff. So yeah, quite versatile, that one. But if you want to light a work area good and proper, then these two lights are even better options, because this is the ML005G 3600 lumen, and I'll tell you that one in a minute. So this one, 900, 1800, 3600. And you may notice it's got a bit of a different front to the 18 volt ones, or does it? It comes off. This is just a diffuser to help sort of stop you from getting quite so blinded. It does cut the light level down a bit, but yeah, makes it a little less horrible to stare straight at, and diffuses the light a bit better over your work area. This now comes as a standard in most parts of the world. I'm not sure if all parts of the world get those, but in New Zealand that is standard. It weighs 4.6 kgs without a battery. It's a pretty sturdy light and it goes in lots of angles. Loosen it off on the side here and you can go almost all the way around. So that's super handy for getting exactly where you want your light, and then you can just lock it up in whichever position you want. The base is pretty solid construction. Got a couple of metal roll bars here and a metal bracket for attaching it to your tripod. Also got some little rubber feet there. Now let's take a look in the back. Open her up and what do we see? Not just XGT but also LXT. So it will take 18 volt batteries and 40 volt batteries, just not at the same time. It's one or the other, I'm afraid. And Does it take the 8 amp hour? Oh, I don't know. Is it going to fit? Let's take a look. Well, she fits on there. Does the back close? It does. Hallelujah. And with that 8 amp hour battery in there, you should get on the highest setting around 7 hours runtime, or about 15 on the mid setting, or on the lowest setting about 30 hours of runtime. What does she look like? And don't worry, I will be using these in the dark to show you what they're really like. But first, I'll tell you about the ML009G. So here it is, the big boy, all 6.4 kgs of her without batteries. If you've got two 8 amp hour batteries in this, then that would weigh around the 10 kg mark. So when it comes to putting this on a tripod, only the one I'm afraid, two of these on a tripod, you're looking at over 20 kgs your tripod's got to take. So it is of course essentially just the same as the tool I've just shown you, but a bit bigger. Well, quite a lot bigger actually. And brightness wise, because when we're talking about lumens, we've got 2000, 4000, and wait for it, 10,000 lumens. And as you can hear now, this one has a fan that needs to run pretty much all the time, I've noticed, when it's on the highest setting, the 10,000 lumen setting. And this thing currently has two 8 amp hour batteries in it. That's right, it takes two 40 volt batteries or two 18 volt batteries. Now it doesn't need both of them to run. I can pull one of these out and it kicks over into the other battery. So if you've got two batteries in here, it runs on one side. When that one dies, it jumps over to the other battery. What about if you have 18 volt and 40 volt in there? Does that same theory work? Let's see. We'll chuck an 18 volt battery in there. Let's whip out the 40 volt. As you can see, it just kicks over. You just lose light for about a second. So quite a lot of battery options there. You can just play musical chairs with your batteries. I don't know why, but hey. And the good thing about them doing this, I find, is that if you're on the LXT system, which so many people of course are, and you're thinking about maybe upgrading to the 40 volt, you can buy this, and if you do end up upgrading at a later stage, your light's still ready to go. Which also goes for the chili bin or cooler, and the radios, they're also got the 18 and the 40 volt connections. If you have a look around here, we have a silicon type seal, which is there to make this tool IP65 rated. So it's pretty good in the dust and a bit of wet, but you know, don't leave it out in the rain obviously. Now with two of the 8 amp hour 40 volt batteries in here, you'll get around 4.5 hours on the 10,000 lumen setting, or about 13 hours on 4,000, or 28 hours on the lowest 2,000 lumen setting. If you're using two 18 volt 6 amp hour batteries, you should get just below 2 hours on the highest setting, and on the medium setting you'll get around 5 hours and 10 hours on the lowest setting. On the smallest 40 volt battery, the 2 amp hour, you're looking at about 80 minutes, you know, about an hour and 20 minutes on the highest setting, 3.5 hours on the medium setting, and 7.5 hours on the lowest setting. Now I think to properly show you how these lights work, we need to find some darkness. So let's go do that. This is the 005 on its full setting, 3600 lumens. As you can see, pretty easy to work by that. Mid setting, 1800 lumens. Still doable. 900 lumens, starting to get a bit dull for an area this size. That far wall is 5 meters away from where the light is. Let's try the 009. This is it on its lowest setting, 2000 lumens. The medium setting, 4000 lumens. And now the brightest of any Makita light, the 10,000 lumens setting. As you can see, that is plenty bright enough. But if you're standing too close to it, it's quite annoying, the light coming into your damn face, because it's pretty bright. Let's take the diffuser off and see if we get even more light out of this thing. There we go, even brighter. See, anything white with this sort of light becomes rather annoying and reflective. If you need to light a large area outdoors though, this thing is pretty darn awesome. It covers a large area and lights up things well enough to move about safely. It'd be great for parties as well. It's quite noisy with the fan going in it. It's pretty bright. It does make it feel like it's the middle of the day almost. Take a look off into the darkness. And finally, let's take a look at the handheld 007. Let's turn off the big one. So that is on floodlight. That is flood with spot. That spot's pretty powerful. And that's just spot by itself. Let's take a look at the most annoying feature. Ready for it? Oh man. I feel like I'm going to have a fit or something. That's horrible. I need to take this one somewhere else though, really, so that we can see just how far this spot goes. Because it is pretty impressive. Okay, in the next shots I'm going to see if we can see to the other side of this reservoir. Now, I'm not sure how far it is, I'll check that on Google later, but I'm guessing that we won't quite get to the other side in that direction. I'm guessing it's probably going to be a bit too far. I'm thinking it's about 300 meters across at that point, and maybe down there we're looking at, ooh, it's got to be over 640 meters. 640, we might get to this end over to the right here. We'll see. Just gotta wait for it to get dark now, which should be any moment now. And now that it is dark, how far does it go? So that there, put it down on there, is the end of the water overflow on the dam we're at. So now can we see to the other side to your left? No, over the, can you, yeah, over to the trees. You can just see them. Pan around, yeah, you can see the shoreline over there. Doesn't show up very good on camera. It's a good torch, but maybe these distances are further than I thought they were. Okay, we're looking down into the dam overflow now. Let's see if the 10,000 lumen can light it up. This one doesn't go very far, but it is pretty bright. Whooshka. Not too bad. And so outside here, it throws a good 10 meters. You can get pretty good light. And over to the sides, peripherally, you're looking at probably about 3 to 4 meters either side of the light itself. So it lights up a fairly big area. It does throw light in a lot of different directions. So that tower thing there is about, I'm guessing, 70 meters away from us. Lights that up fairly easily. Better than it looks on the screen. Light up the reeds just there. "640 meters, ooh, I reckon more like half that. Probably you can see it from 640 meters if you're standing staring back at it. This is the ML007G on the floodlight setting, and it's pretty good. I'm not sure if it's quite as good as the 10,000 lumen. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, the 10,000 lumen does tend to wash out the floodlight on this one. I'm going to turn this one off. Yeah, so you turn the 07 on and off and you can barely tell any difference. Whereas if we turn the 10,000 lumen one back off, Yeah, this one doesn't seem so bright anymore. This is the lights on the car. This is full beam. Not that impressive, awfully orange. This is the lights on full beam with the Makita 10,000 lumen ML009G. Totally different type of light, so much brighter. Might not throw quite as far because I can still see the orangey color from the headlights on the trees. But we turn it's the headlights off. Headlights on full, headlights not on full. So yeah, you can see the headlights go a little bit further, but the Makita much brighter. If my assistant would turn off the Makita. Wow, headlights look awful. Oh, I much prefer the Makita. Makita again? Yeah, that's way brighter. Okay. Is it as bright as the moon? Oh! Anyway, it's dark and it's getting cold, so it's time to go back to the workshop and wrap this thing up. So which style of light is your favorite? Let me know down in the comment section. I really like this torch, although the claim of it lighting up objects 640 meters away, I think they would have to be reflective, very reflective, because I looked up on Google and I found out the measurements of that particular lake we were looking at, and I wasn't too far off in my guess. So it was about 350 meters across in the shot where I said I could see the other side, but it probably wasn't coming up on camera, so you could only barely see the other side, and that was at around the 350 meter mark. So that's not much more than half of what this claims to do. Other shots where I was lighting up 250 meters seems to light up fairly good. Anything over that is, yeah, pretty hit and miss. You're not really able to see what's there, but still a very good torch. And you know, torches have come a long way since the since this one, which is rather orange. Yeah, I still use this torch a lot though. This is the old DML 185. So I think this is a good all-round torch in that it's a torch sort of slash spotlight, goes a long way, and it has the floodlight which makes it like one of these work lights. As I say, better in my opinion than the ML003G, and technically throws out more light. Then the two larger work lights. This one can be a bit bright on full whack, especially if you ever look at it. Once you look at, well, any of these really on full whack, they're you end up seeing little aliens floating around your eyes for a bit. So it's great for lighting up big areas. Yeah, and it's very bright, as you saw with the headlight test. It's pretty darn bright. Although the brightness of this isn't quite as bad as when you have this thing on strobe. Oh man, it is awful. I absolutely hate it. It's just doesn't look so bad probably on the camera like that, but it's so bright and just so disorientating, and yeah, just it gets attention. It's awful. Yeah, see, now I'm seeing little dots floating around. So if you don't want too much light, this one on its low settings quite good. And remember, the middle setting of this one is even more powerful than the top setting on this one. This one is a good all-round, would do most people fine, provided you're not outside or in a large warehouse or something where this would be better. If you're working in residential houses, then this is pretty darn good. But like I say, let me know which one you prefer, which style you prefer, whether you've got one of these and what you think of it. These two are both available now in New Zealand. This one will be out in October. It's already out in other parts of the world like the UK and parts of Europe. So yeah, that is some of the new Makita 40 volt lights. I'll leave a link to the ML003G review down below, and I'll put it up here in the corner or something if you are interested in seeing that. And I also did a review on all the 18 volt lights, all the work lights and the wobble light and stuff. So if you want to see those, I'll put that up there and down there as well. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more Makita stuff. And I'll see you on another video real darn soon. Cheers guys, have a good one.